Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to be making carrot and coconut jollof rice. Have you tried this combination before? No? Let's do it together. So I have all my ingredients here and let's start cooking. I will be using chicken for this recipe, but you can use any protein of your choice. To that I will be adding some chicken knuckle cubes, add in some sliced red onions, and then I also went in with some thyme, add salt, and that's it. I like to season my meat with less ingredients, but you can feel free to add whatever you like. You can add more or you can add less. So I'm going to mix everything up and cover the pot, allow it to cook in its own juice. So while that is cooking, we are going to semi-parboil our rice. And why I said semi-parboil is because we are not going to be cooking it on the stove. So we are going to be using some hot water. Just pour the hot water over the rice. And by the way, I'm using about 6.5 cups. You guys saw the cup I showed you from the beginning of this video. So I have 6.5 of that. And after adding the water, I let it sit for about 5 minutes before I wash it or rinse it. So back to the meat, I'm just going to give it a quick stir, and then I went in with some water, just a tiny bit of water, cover it back again and allow it to cook further. Alright, now here is the carrot. I've already gone ahead and scraped it with a scraper, and I also cut it into smaller sizes so that it can be easier to blend. And I'm blending it together with 2 red bell peppers and 3 scotch bonnet or habanero peppers. Guys, please, if you're going to be trying out this recipe, be sure to cut your carrots into tinier pieces, like tinier than mine, because what happened to me in this video, I don't want it to happen to any one of you. I didn't cut it as tiny as I should, and then I overloaded or overcrowded the blender with a lot of the carrots and the peppers as well, and so my blender died on me. So right now I'm just transferring it into a food processor. Thank God I even have this one at home. So I'm just going to transfer some of that, blend it, and this is what we have. Now I'm going to preheat my air fryer because I'll be using it to air fry the chicken, and while that is preheating, I'll go ahead and rinse the rice with cold water. If you don't have an air fryer, you can do it in the oven, or you can fry the chicken as well, or you can even choose to leave it entirely, just boil the chicken and that's it. So the air fryer is preheated. I'm going to add in the cooked chicken and fry for about 20 minutes. If you want it very crispy and crunchy, go for 20 minutes, okay? But if you don't want it that crispy, hard and crunchy, then you can do less, maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. Now in a big enough pot, I'll add in my maize oil. You can use any vegetable oil of your choice, and then I also added the remaining onions. I'm going to fry this until it is a bit translucent. I've also added a teaspoon of minced ginger and garlic paste. I also added some thyme as well. This is to intensify the flavor of the oil before we fry our blended carrots and peppers. And I'll also be adding tin tomato to this as well, just 1 tin tomato, the medium size one. Yeah, depending on the quantity of rice you're making, you might want to add more of the tin tomatoes, more carrots, more peppers, or even less. So I'm going to fry this until the oil starts to settle on top. I tasted to be sure that the carrot is not still sweet and everything was just okay. So I added some bay leaves to that. I also added some nutmeg powder, some curry powder, and I also added this jumbo seasoning. It's a jollof rice seasoning. It adds a nice aroma and color to jollof rice, so I added about 2 teaspoons of that. I went in with the meat stock, and in goes my coconut milk. So this is the one I'm using. You can use any brand of your choice. You can as well use fresh coconut if that's what you have. After adding everything, mix to combine well, and then add the washed rice. I'm going to add the rice and then stir it up, like making sure that every single grain is coated in the sauce. I also added a little bit more water, just because obviously you can see that there's no liquid in the pot, so I added some water. I tasted and then I adjusted my seasoning with some salt and covered with a foil paper, placed on the lid and allowed this to cook on a medium to low heat. Now here is our chicken. It's all done, looking so crispy and yummy, and I feel like eating from the screen already. Now back to our rice. The liquid is starting to dry up a bit, as you can see, and I'm going to stir it up a bit. Make sure you keep an eye on this so that your rice doesn't burn too much. You want to keep stirring it every 5 minutes. So after stirring it up, I added my spring onions. This is just to garnish the rice and to give it a little bit of color. You can garnish with fresh tomatoes, onions, like basically garnish the rice with any vegetable of your choice. Cover it back again and allow the water to dry up completely. And guys, the rice was ready. Look at the color of this rice. The color was popping, the aroma was popping, the taste was popping, and our chicken was looking so good. I hope you give this recipe a try and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.